we begin with the search for a missing teen. Good afternoon. I'm Sherman Chow. Tips have been pouring in about 17-year-old Wilson Stratton's disappearance. Michelle Choi live in the River Oaks area where the Precinct 1 constable just gave us an update. Michelle?
Yeah, good. Hey, Sherman. Constable Alan Rosen says since yesterday, more witnesses have been coming forward saying that they've spotted the teen. In fact, investigators are now looking into whether or not this teenage boy was spotted at a Jack-in-the-Box just 15 minutes away from this River Oaks area. He was caught on surveillance camera. Again, they're trying to confirm whether or not it was him, but he was supposedly seen in that video alone, and they're now treating this case not as a kidnapping case, but as a missing persons case. Now take a good look at this picture. This is 17-year-old Wilson Stratton. Since early this morning, a search party by Texas EquiSearch has been taking place. More than 100 volunteers have been looking for Wilson by ground, by boat, and even ATV, including his family, who tells us they don't believe Wilson ran away because he left unprepared, wearing just a thin fishing shirt, gym shorts with about $50 in his pockets, and no cell phone. His father fought back tears as he pleaded for any information on the whereabouts of his son.
I'd just like to ask anybody out there with any possible information or sightings to please contact EquiSearch, the Houston Police Department, or the Constable's Office. We are terribly worried about Wilson. We love him very much, and we ask that you all pray and help us bring him home safely.
Again, here's another look at Wilson. His father says his son has been going through some difficult times ever since his mother passed away 3 years ago, and that he's periodically left the house before but would just come back in minutes, and it's been nothing like this. Now, officials also tell us they don't believe Wilson is in any kind of grave danger at this point, but that they are trying very hard to help his family and his friends find Wilson and bring him back home safely. As you can see behind me, that search party, there are still people volunteering and signing up, hoping to spot Wilson just in time, make sure and bring him home safe. Again, if you have any information on his whereabouts, you're asked to call local authorities. Sherman, back to you.
All right, thank you, Michelle. This just in, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe plans to step down in March from the FBI. CBS is reporting that he was forced out. McCabe has been at the center of ongoing tensions between the White House and the FBI. He has served at the agency since 1996. Houston police are looking for the last suspect in a Southwest Houston robbery this morning. Air 11 was over the O'Reilly Auto Parts store on West Fuquay after several robbers struck. Police chased them down Highway 288 until they stopped at Reed Road and fled on foot. All but one now in custody. And HPD just released this surveillance video of an armed robber who hit a Subway sandwich shop in Spring Branch. This was back on November 24th, about 9 a.m. at Hollister near Pinemont. Take a good look. The crook, who is about 5 feet 5 inches tall, jumped on top of the counter, pulled out a knife, then got money from the cash register. If you recognize this guy, call Crime Stoppers. Funeral services will be this afternoon for former Pasadena Police Chief and Vietnam Purple Heart veteran Paul Cobb. He was one of 5 people killed earlier this month when their helicopter crashed in New Mexico. The sole survivor was his daughter, Andra Cobb. The 67-year-old's ashes are being flown back to Houston right now. The service will start at 4 p.m. at First Baptist Church in Pasadena. We will stream it live on KHOU.com. There will also be a missing man flyover after the service. The weather should be good for that flyover this evening. It is clear and sunny today. Let's take a live look outside, and this weather may last for a couple of days. Blake?
Yes, Sherman, good to see you on this Monday afternoon. It's a gorgeous day after a crummy weekend. You know, although the weather did turn out fairly nice once we got into the afternoon hours of your Sunday. But boy, I'll tell you what, it is a gorgeous day down there on Galveston Island as well. You can see here the seawall right there in front of Murdoch's. Traffic moving along okay under those bright sunny skies, and we're seeing this area wide. We're going to see this for a few more days. Temperatures across the board pretty comfortable out there as well. 64 at both major airports, 60 up in Conroe, upper 50s here in our northern counties, 60 at Crystal Beach, and 64 degrees there in Sugar Land. Your forecast for the rest of your afternoon, well, looking like a good one, Sherman. We'll have more on your extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Blake. This flu season has been the most severe since 2009. And according to the CDC, that's information according to the CDC. This is the worst season since 2009 for the flu. So what can you do to protect yourself above and beyond getting that flu shot? Brandy Smith verifies how to flu-proof your home.
You've heard this since you were a kid. Wash your hands. It is the #1 way to stop spreading germs. But what if someone in your house is already sick? Should you quarantine a sick person? Now, quarantine is a pretty strong word, but both of our experts agree it wouldn't hurt to give the sick person in your house a little extra space, especially since the CDC says the flu can be spread just by breath. What about all the places he or she may have touched in the house? The flu virus can live on hard surfaces like doorknobs and remote controls for up to 24 hours. Does disinfecting surfaces really work?
Most basic household cleaners will disinfect a surface from the flu.
The key here is to leave the surface wet until it dries on its own. And try not to use a sponge. All it's going to do is spread the germs somewhere else if it's not disinfected properly.
It would be best to use a disinfectant wipe.
Can you get the flu by touching a towel?
The flu virus can live on various surfaces.
That's a yes. So try not to share any hand towels or bath towels with the sick person. Instead, use paper towels and disposable cups, and remember to isolate the sick person's toothbrush. What about laundry? Well, the idea is kind of the same. The virus doesn't live as long on cloth, but you still don't need to hug the bedding, clothes, or towels of a sick person. Use a laundry basket and wash your hands afterward. As waste baskets fill up with tissues, can they spread the flu? Absolutely. So it's best to line it with a shopping bag and empty it once a day, making sure not to touch anything inside. How about some fresh air? Our experts say, yeah, go ahead, open the windows, air out the sick room as often as you can, but maybe just don't go out.
Fresh air being in an open space with a lot of people is another thing, because then that could also be a source of a potential infectious spread.
And one more thing, the most important thing, according to both doctors, get yourself vaccinated.
Flu shot is the best thing that you can do each year to help prevent you from getting the flu.
Standing for Houston, Brandy Smith, KHOU 11 News.
Some good tips for your house there. Hey, we want to give a big shout out this afternoon to a local Grammy winner. The Houston Symphony picked up its first ever Grammy over the weekend. It won Best Opera Recording for its rendition of Alban Berg's Wozzeck. It was also the group's first ever nomination. Another first-time winner was Alessia Cara for Best New Artist.